Today's program is produced entirely by the television production students at Southeast High School, in partnership with Kaiser University and with the medical experts at Intercoastal Cardiology in Sarasota.
Southeast High School Sports presents Southeast Lady Seminole Basketball. Tonight our Seminoles, who are currently 27-1 and ranked number 1 in the state of Florida in Class 5A, are playing host to the Gibbs Gladiators in the regional semifinal round, game 2 of the state series in the regional competition. The Gladiators enter this evening's contest with a record of 10 wins and 11 defeats. I am Paul Meckley, and I will be bringing to you the play-by-play this evening of tonight's game. Sitting next to me is Greg Alexander, who will be describing all of the action for you. Greg, this is the 4th time that these two teams have met this season. Southeast has been victorious all 3. It's hard to beat a team 3 times in one season, much less a 4th. What do you know about the Gibbs Gladiators?
First of all, the Gibbs Gladiators come in as a well-coached bunch. 33 years with Coach Fast Eddie Jackson. He's been in this area in Pinellas County, and when you look at the score from last game, 54-32, it was a lot closer than what it looked like. You've got some good players over there. Brianna Bostic, she had 15 points. Roshana Streeter had 9 points, and the good thing about Streeter is she is a 6'3" sophomore. So when you're looking at what you can bring up and build on, these are building blocks that Coach Jackson's got to be very happy with, win, lose, or draw.
Correct. I know that Coach Jackson was happy to get his big, tall girl there, Roshana Streeter, back, so we're happy to have her on the roster this evening. And I know this is a big game for both teams, because from here they move on to the regional final, which will be played at a place to be determined. A game is being played this evening down at Cape Coral between Lemon Bay between Lemon Bay and Cape Coral, and the winner of tonight's game will play the winner of that at a location to be determined.
It's got to look as if Southeast will go ahead and pull this one out, but you never want to take a team for granted. Like you said earlier in the broadcast, to beat somebody 4 times in a row is very, very tough, and in the game of basketball, it's going to come down to which team executes their coach's game plan flawlessly.
The Southeast Seminoles, when they played last Thursday evening against, I even forgot who it was.
Middleton.
Against Middleton. They kind of got off to a little rough start offensively, but the defense of the Lady Seminoles is what has really carried Southeast High School Lady Noles this year. They play extremely tough defense for a girls basketball squad. They force the other team into a number of turnovers. Sometimes they've started a little bit slow like we did last week, but we got it going and we were able to come out with the victory.
Absolutely. One of the best things about a team that starts off with defense is when you have players setting that tone, it's really going to help you get some easy buckets. And with the players that Southeast has, their quickness in the backcourt, they are low maintenance as far as mistakes. I like what Nelly brings to the table as the point guard, and with her playing defense up top, it's really tough to score on this team.
As you can see, the Southeast Seminoles, probably 2 defensive stalwarts have been introduced. First, at sophomore number 5, Brianna Reed, one of the guards on the team. The second guard is Bevan Mays, a senior who has been with Coach Harder now for 4 years. Played tremendous defense in the ball game last week. Janelle Gould is a starting point guard for Coach Harder. D'Angela Mathis coming out on the court now as a senior, number 23. She's averaging 14.6 points a game. And rounding out the lineup for the Seminoles this evening is Kishana Robinson. She's a senior, averaging 14.9 points a game. It'll be interesting to see how Kishana battles against Streeter from the Gibbs Lady Gladiators tonight, as I don't think Kishana's had to play against big, tall girls a lot this year.
I will tell you, watching the game last time in the early going, Streeter was in foul trouble, and so it was pretty easy for Keita to get her way. But when you look at the second half, she came out with a lot more poise. The young player is very, very talented. Footwork is good. She doesn't turn the ball over, and she gets an opportunity to get a rebound and go straight up. She can be a deterrent in the paint.
This is probably maybe the 5th or 6th game that Streeter has been on the floor for the Lady Gladiators. This is the 28th game this year alone for Kishana and for D'Angela Mathis, seniors that have played for Coach Harder for the last 4 years. So we wish them all good luck tonight as we're ready for the tip-off. Tap is controlled by Kishana, and Janelle Gold will bring it up for the Seminoles across the timeline. Looking at a little zone defense here, it looks like, by the Gladiators from Gibbs as they're packing in the middle.
You could expect that. Not a lot of teams are going to play man-to-man against Southeast. Too many athletes, too much speed, so they'd rather pack it in, and make them shoot.
Ball was inside, kicked back out to Janelle Gold, who puts up a shot, no good, but sophomore Brianna Reed pulls down her first rebound of the contest and looks inside to Mays. Reed with another jumper, no good, off the glass, but again, Southeast with the rebound. Unfortunately, it goes off of Janelle Gold's hands, and it'll be the Lady Gladiators to inbound.
That's what Coach Jackson wants. He wants to see Southeast shoot in this game. If they get an opportunity to run some of those backdoor plays last time, that was what made the game get out of hand very early.
Probably the best player for the Lady Gibbs Gladiator for our fans on the internet tonight is number 5, Bria Bostic for Eddie Jackson's Gibbs Gladiators. She's a senior, and she had a good game last time they were in the Southeast Gymnasium for the district championship a couple weeks ago.
Absolutely. Bostic had 15 points, and she's actually the number 6 scorer. There's that backdoor play we were talking about, and there's Streeter going straight up and deterring.
And Southeast girls missed 2 baskets, 2 shots underneath, and come up empty. And Bostic comes down and drives inside on Reed, puts up a shot, and Janelle Gold, point guard, there to box out and bring down the rebound and bring it across the timeline and set up the offense. 2 times Southeast has been into their front court, and we haven't been able to get any points yet. Similar start to what we had probably the last time on the court.
Absolutely, Coach. You're looking at patience here. You're looking at this pace being set by Janelle Gould. I like what she brings to the table. Not rushing anything, taking her time and getting that layup.
Janelle Gold drove in there against that zone defense and was able to come away with the first field goal for the Seminoles, putting us on top. The Lady Noles, coached by John Harder, trying to get to the regional championship game, which will be played Friday. Coach Harder has over 700 wins, a district title again, and Gibbs throws the ball away as Gold intercepts it, comes across the timeline, drives all the way down, gets it underneath to Mathis, who makes a shot, up, no good, off the rim. Kishana with the rebound, battling on the floor. Gibbs Gladiators come away with the ball, and Bostic brings it across the line on the left-hand side, and she'll wait for the rest of the Lady Gladiators to set up and run a play for Coach Eddie Jackson in his 33rd year coaching the Gibbs Gladiators.
It looks like they're running man-to-man, but you see how much attention is being paid to Bria Bostic. Bevan Mays is playing her all the way up the court. She's not trying to let her get set, not letting her get comfortable, which is a smart play by Coach Harder.
In some conversations I had with the girls in the hallway this week, they said they're going to try and put some pressure on her. She is one of the best ball handler and trying to force their offense way out top so they get nothing going. Southeast on top after 3 minutes of action here, 2-0. On a drive for the Gibbs Gladiators, their shot is up and no good. That was Murphy with the shot, rebound by Mathis. D'Angela drives up, puts up a shot, off the rim, no good.
That was a rebound and coast to coast. You got that from one of your post players. It was a 1-on-4 fast break. It wasn't a bad shot. By the time she got past half court, none of the Southeast Seminoles were with her, so she had to make something happen.
Bostic being tied up there, and Bevan Mays forces a turnover. Just what we were hoping it could do. Defense on the point guard brings the turnover Southeast way.
Quick timeout by Coach Jackson. Looks like he's calling a 30 to reevaluate before it gets too far out of hand.
We encourage everyone who is watching tonight to like the SETV Facebook page at facebook.com/SEHS Television. We'd like to have you send it out to your family and friends. You'll get updates of all the SETV broadcasts for the Seminole Nation. Not only will SETV be broadcasting live sporting events in the future, but also music department concerts, special award ceremonies. So like us on Facebook so you can keep abreast of what's happening in and around Southeast High School. That's facebook.com/SEHS Television. Southeast has a lead of 2-0, going to inbound here. That defensive pressure is what we were hoping to see, like they employed last week and throughout this entire season. Knowles getting the turnover here, and Janelle Gold setting it up over to Reed. Pass inside to Mathis. Mathis goes up with a shot. No good, but she's fouled in the act of shooting. That is the first personal foul of the game. I believe the foul was on Streeter, maybe?
Yeah, it looks like they put that foul on Streeter. And the thing about a lot of fans at home for St. Pete, they're going to look and say, well, where was the foul at? Coach, breaking that plane, having your hands extended over is going to be a foul every time. Replay's coming up right now, and if you take a look at it, she breaks that plane. She's got a little bit of body. If she goes straight up, she doesn't get that foul and forces a tough shot from D'Angela.
D'Angela converted on first one of the 2 free throws and missed on the second one. So Bostic, the point guard, comes across the timeline, guarded there by Bevan Mays out in front. Gets by Mays, and we got a foul on Bevan as she reached in to try and steal the ball. That's the first personal on Bevan Mays. That's the first team foul against Southeast. Lady Gladiators from St. Pete Gibbs will be inbounding underneath their own basket.
I like the defense Bevan's playing. She's putting a lot of pressure. You've got 2 seniors going at it. Traveling call underneath.
Bostic got the ball inside there to Streeter, and she was a little off balance when she got a hold of the ball and traveled before she was able to get in position for a shot.
Once she learns the game, she's going to be something to deal with, Coach.
Yeah, she's got the size to be a dominant figure. As we've mentioned, she is only a 10th grader, so she's got a bright future ahead of her. D'Angela Mathis tries driving into the lane against the zone defense. Gibbs Gladiators force a jump ball, a good defensive play there by number 13 on the replay.
Regine Tucker, she's a senior, got her hands in there.
Southeast on top 3-0 in a rather slow-paced first quarter by the Knowles on the left-hand side of the court. Murphy takes a shot, no good. Rebound comes down to, that was Tucker taking the shot. Southeast gets the rebound and comes across with good Gold against that zone defense. The Gibbs Gladiators are packed inside, and we got traveling on Robinson.
I think that if Keita is looking to face up and really be a threat, she's going to help open up that zone. That high post is going to be open all night. They're really packing that zone in. They don't want the backdoor plays that happened last time, Coach. I mean, you got to think, Southeast probably ran about 20 points off of that backdoor play that Coach Harder likes to employ.
Bostic on a drive, puts up a shot a little bit hard off the rim. Streeter with the rebound, goes up and drops it in as for the Gladiators from Gibbs High School as they get their first 2 points of the evening.
Now, if you look at this zone, they are paying so much attention to Robinson and to Mathis.
We got a foul called here on the floor. Foul is on number 5 for Southeast, Brianna Reed. She tried to drive into the lane and had her shot rejected, and then in the battle for the rebound, she pushed off. That's the second team foul, and Gibbs will bring the ball up. 2 minutes and 47 seconds remaining in the first quarter of action here in this region semifinal game for Region 3 of the State Series Class 5A basketball tournament. Another good defensive play by Southeast as the ball is, as Bostic loses control out of the ball and knocks it out of bounds.
So you got a pace that is very similar to a chess game, not checkers tonight. Coaches are thinking about every opportunity, every possession. There's a high pass out of Bevan's reach and a turnover. You got to think that no coach is going to let the other team get an advantage, so they're really feeling each other out right now. 2:25 left in this quarter. 3-2, low-scoring affair to start with, but after playing a team 4 times or 3 times prior, you got to expect this.
Yeah, this is something that we've come to know a little bit about the Southeast girls this year. A little bit slow start. Bostic on a drive, gets by Mays and goes in for a basket. And that gives the Gibbs Gladiators a lead of 4-3 with 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Inside, Keyshawn Robinson goes up with a shot. No good. Rebound comes down to Gibbs. And Bostic will dribble by Brianna Reed. She looks down court, looks inside to Streeter. Gould steals it. Brianna Reed on a little bit of a run action here for Southeast over to Mays. Mays underneath to D'Angelo Mathis. Mathis up with the shot. And we got a foul called in the act of shooting. D'Angelo Mathis will be going to the free throw line.
Replay coming up. That's an ill-advised foul. You got to look at Streeter rushing to get back in the play and prevent the layup, but I would much rather, if I'm Coach Eddie Jackson, have 2 points on the board instead of 2 fouls on my 6'3" sophomore.
And like Greg said, that's 2 personals on Streeter. She will come out of the game. That's a big imposing force that's going to have to go to the bench for a couple minutes for the Gibbs Gladiators. Checking into the lineup, replacing her was number
22, Iyanna Hall. She's a senior for Gibbs. Gives up a lot of inches, so hopefully she'll be able to contain the forwards for Southeast. At least that's what Coach Eddie Jackson is thinking. Look at how much attention is being paid to Bria Bostic. Everything that she gets, she's going to have to work for tonight.
Yeah, there'll be one person on her on top, will be Bevan, and when she gets inside, there'll be a couple people collapsing on her, and there we got the 5-second turnover. That the good defense that we had talked about early in the game, or before the game, is evident there, and the Knowles get another turnover. I would guess that's the 3rd turnover in the first quarter.
I definitely would agree with you there, sir. Here's the good thing about what you see Bevan do. She plays defense, she plays with a high motor, and you don't run any plays for her. You're going to find her in double digits, possibly a double-double every game.
Southeast on top, 5-4, coming down to the end of the first quarter with 1 minute left to play in that quarter. Brianna Reed throws up a wild shot, and Gibbs comes down with the rebound. And coming across the timeline now is Murphy, a senior. She's dribbling around past Gould. They go underneath with a shot by number 13 there. Rayan Tucker makes that shot and gives the Gladiators a 6-5 lead over Southeast with 30 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
Looks like Bevan's trying to slow Gould down. They're going to hold. That was an open shot. You're showing some patience by sophomore Brianna Reed. And she's going to let that one go. And she knocks down a 3-pointer. Assist by Janelle Gould.
That's the first 3-pointer of the evening, puts the Southeast Seminoles on top 8-6 with 10 seconds remaining in the half. Bostic has the ball out front, bothered by Mays. Now bothered by Reed. Mathis bothers her, 3 seconds remaining on the clock. Gould over to Reed, ball's gonna go out of bounds, and that's gonna be the end of the first quarter of action. The scoreboard indicates Southeast is on top by a score of 8-6. That's the end of the first quarter of action. We'll be right back with the second quarter of action after this very important public service announcement. Your Lady Seminole basketball presented by SETV Sports, coming to you on Play On Sports.
This is Wyatt. Wyatt was not captain of the football team. He did not graduate at the top of his class. He did not grow up to be the most loving husband, or even the best father. He did not grow up to be any of these things, because when Wyatt was 6, he was hit by a car that ran a red light. Pay attention when you drive.
Welcome back to Southeast High School, Ben Buzz Narbert Gymnasium for the second quarter of action in this regional semifinal Class 5A basketball game. featuring the Southeast Seminoles in white against the Gibbs Gladiators. We see Janelle Gold going up with the shot, no good. Mathis working for the rebound. She loses it, and up with the loose ball comes senior Murphy from Gibbs Gladiators. Murphy drives on the left-hand side, past Gold, up with the shot. Basket is good by Murphy. Murphy's first 2 points of the game.
So good things happening out of the timeout if you're a Gladiators fan. One thing you want Southeast to do is really focus on hitting the boards. And there's a rebound on cue, right up, and we got the foul call. Looks like that foul's gonna be on number 22, Iyana Hall, who's the replacement for Roshana Streeter. You look at that pass inside, Bevan gathers, and there we go again, breaking the plane, sir.
That was a great catch underneath there. Kishana Robinson at the top of the free throw line, threw the ball underneath to Bevan. Bevan made a great catch and converted on her first free throw. This senior Bevan Mays is averaging 11.9 points a game, but probably just as valuable, if not more valuable, as a defensive player when she guards the toughest girl that the other team has on the court.
I guarantee if you look at Coach Harder's playbook, there's not an offensive play called for Bevan Mays. Everything that she gets is off of hustle points and being in the right place at the right time.
The right place and the right time right now is out on front as she's guarding Bostic all over the court. Bostic back there on the right-hand side puts up a long three-point shot. It rattles in and out, no good, and the rebound is going to go out of bounds, and it's going to be Gibbs Gladiator basketball.
They're trying to run that